Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nightmare Journal. Now, this dream is a very unusual one. It came around the same time as the Carousel Elephant and the Ningen dream. I wouldn't say, I don't know if it was the same week, but it was around a similar point in time. Now, here's the thing. I love listening to creepypasta narrations. Because I have ADD, it does make it very difficult to concentrate. Now, because I have attention deficit disorder, that does make it very hard for me to concentrate for longer stories. That's why I've always liked shorter videos, because it's hard for me to concentrate. If I see, like, a review of a game that I like from a YouTuber that I like, and it's like an hour long, it's just like, That's why I personally don't like super long YouTube videos. It's just because I can't concentrate through them. I think that's also why I make shorter videos now. I don't know how everyone's feeling about that because by the time of recording this video will probably come in March, maybe April. It's still January when I'm doing all of this. Yeah, I'm stockpiling, you motherfuckers! But anyway, I love listening to creepypasta narrations. I've listened to some while driving, I've listened to some while at certain jobs, like I worked at a Sunoco, and when no one was in, I would turn on some. This is also the point in time this is, like I said, this is 2017, so there were other things I was listening to as well, such as Oni Plays and Planet Dolan, and it seems like that this habit ended up getting into my dream world. I had a dream that I walked inside a mall. I had my headphones in, and I was listening to creepypasta narration. I remember who they were in the dream, too. It was creepypasta that, for some reason, was talking. And he was talking about an urban legend called The Day of the Boy. Now, it's a silly name. Absolutely. I don't know why. It was called The Day of the Boy. Maybe because I was just discovering Oni Plays, and sometimes they would do jokes like, Oni Plays have a boy. But what exactly is The Day of the Boy? Well, according to the story inside my dream, it's sort of like this piece of entertainment that would just come out of nowhere. It would be adaptive. It would come in any form. It could be a DVD, a video game, a cartridge, an SD card, or even a video that would just appear on YouTube. And then if you watch the video to completion, your perception of entertainment and the world would change forever. And then, as if it was a part of his video, my phone glitches out, and it changes to a weird PS1 styled room, this fleshy, pulsating room that looks like it belongs in a PS1 title. It's very pixelated, very polygon-like, but we're looking in just a corner. Text would scroll up, and it looked like text that would belong to an old TV show, and I mean an old one, like MASH or something like that. Big white text would scroll up, and it would say, The Day of the Boy. And it would scroll back upwards. My thought was, oh, he somehow got a visual interpretation for the story. That's pretty cool. And then these white and green polygonal tentacles would start coming out of the ground. The green ones would be like roots, as they would kind of go up and down and spread outwards, as the white ones would just go straight up and slither to the top of the ceiling. The phone would start glitching out more and more. My phone would start heating up, and then out of nowhere, the video ended. My phone shut off. I was confused, but then I was walking around the mall. I walked into a GameStop, and then I noticed something different. I looked at the used game section, and there was a copy of Super Mario Galaxy. Now, everyone knows the Super Mario Galaxy cover. Mario is flying with his hands out, looking around a galaxy. But instead, he wasn't flying around a galaxy. He was flying around a big black void. There was nothing besides some of the planets that were already on the cover. No stars, no glistening beautiful background, and Mario looked afraid. His eyes were blanked out, and almost like he was running mascara. He looked terrified. And then I looked at the game next to him. Similar thing. It was as if every single cover of every game I looked at inside that store would be a warped version of itself in some way. Like someone photoshopped all the covers. And then I would look up at the TV that they would have sometimes in GameStops to show you trailers of games or go ahead and show you news and whatnot. It would also do the same exact thing. That's what the video would do. It would warp your perception of entertainment to essentially warp everything to the point of no repair. You have no idea what's happening. It's pretty much, you know username 666, that urban legend that spawned that video, or perhaps maybe the urban legend came from that video. Anyway, You see a lot of the video examples that would come inside that video. When I clicked in the username 666, all the videos would just be this mix mash of flesh and flashing images. That's essentially what I was seeing. All entertainment that I would see from that point would be a warped version of itself. I will never be able to see entertainment the way it was again. In other words, I just had built-in creepypasta vision. And then something strange happened. I went to leave the GameStop, but I didn't leave the GameStop into the mall. I left it to the outside world. I turned around and the GameStop was gone. I was surrounded by grassy fields and cornfields, and then there was this one house. A house that didn't look complete. It looked like it was the general shape of a normal house, but everything was made of plywood. So it was like the shape and the silhouette of the house was complete, but of course looking at it, it would be far from it. There would be this sort of silo looking thing, and that's what they're called, right? The big, what are they called? The big cylinder looking things with the round top you see at farms. It was also made of plywood. And then I would see this girl looking out the second story window, reaching for me, calling for me. And there'd be a ladder going up to the window that she was at. I recognized her as a friend, even though I didn't recognize her as any specific person. I just thought, oh hey, it's a good friend of mine. So I went up the ladder and went inside the house. It was one of those situations where it was much bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. It was like an M.C. Escher painting of plywood. Just several different layers of impossible structures made out of plywood. And I would look down, there'd be a hole, and there'd be like multiple holes going into each other. So imagine that kind of painting in the back rooms made of plywood. I essentially created my own backrooms level before the backrooms even came to be. And almost as if it wanted to tease me, as soon as I began to explore this plywood backrooms, I woke up. Very disappointing. I was able to explore the story of the day of the boy, but as soon as I wanted to go into the backrooms made out of plywood, I wasn't allowed to do that. Like I said, this was before the backrooms even came to be. I believe the backrooms came in like 2018, this was 2017. Maybe later, who knows. But I didn't know about it. It wasn't really that popular until like the 2020s. Now, why did I have this dream? Well, like I said, I've been listening to a lot of creepypasta narrations from that point in time, so that definitely influenced the first part, and, you know, the whole corruption thing where it's like, oh, childhood thing becomes corrupted. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. I like the yin and yang aspect, even though I do feel as if that when it comes to indie horror games, it is completely overdone at this point. I don't want to see just childhood thing become scary all the time. Give me some variety. Don't ruin that thing that I like. Don't ruin that guilty pleasure for me. The Day of the Boy, well, like I said, I also watched Oni Plays, and I remember jokes would be like, have a boy. Oni Plays, have a boy. Maybe that influenced the creepypasta title, and PS1 horror games were starting to become popular. Maybe that's why the video was the way that it was. And as for the plywood place, however, I couldn't tell you. I can't really think of anything relevant or anything that would really make me think of that. It did give me Children of the Corn vibes. So maybe it was like an old memory of Children of the Corn that somewhat influenced that place, but I can't exactly say for sure. Anyway, my nose is super itchy for I don't know what fucking reason. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. I hope you had a beautiful day, and I hope it gets even more beautiful. Your connection will be strange. Fucking hell, it's itchy as shit. What the fuck's happening?